acting that's a little too good, and prices that aren't quite right.
On this episode of Simply Necessary Conversations.
So everybody knows the famous couples, and one of the most famous couples, and one of the couples that I'm always like kind of tracking what's going on with them because I'm fans of both of them individually and them together is...
You're a fan of both of them. You say fans.
Yes, a fan.
There's only one of you.
But Zendaya and Tom Holland, their romance started kindling when she was MJ and he was Spider-Man. And I think they've been together now for like 5
It's been a minute.
5, 6 years. I don't know their exact dating timeline, but they have been locked in, ain't no switching up for a while. But in a lot of their movies, they have to do some risque things. Zendaya is the main character of the show Euphoria, where she has to have sexual encounters with people on the show. She's also in the new movie Challengers that's coming out soon, where she has a threesome with 2 young gentlemen that are in the movie. Mm-hmm. Tom Holland has been in several films where he had to do some, sexually explicit things. So, like, what is the line when it comes to acting while you're in a relationship? Not that it's ever going to affect me because I don't think I'm ever going to be an actor, but what's the line?
That's a question I really can't answer. I definitely can't answer for anybody that's famous because I don't really know anybody famous. I just know that I wouldn't like it.
I wouldn't like it.
I wouldn't like it. I don't know. I wouldn't like it for my significant other, and I wouldn't want to do it. Like, I'm very germaphobe. Like, I don't want.
I just feel like I would feel very uncomfortable because, like, do they watch the movies together after they come out, and do they have to sit there and be like...
Yeah. And then there's always all of those incidents where people started out acting together in a movie and then later on ended up together.
Like the rumors about Will Smith and Margot Robbie?
Yeah, because by virtue of filming a movie, they're going to spend a lot of time together anyway, like concentrated time. And when you're around somebody, especially if they're attractive and they are funny or whatever stuff, there is going to be that whole spark.
Didn't Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt...
That is how they started out as Mr. and Mrs. Smith and ended up as Mr. and Mrs. Pitt. So I would not want my significant other playing roles where they had to be that touchy-feely with people. But then I also wouldn't want to play roles where you had to be touchy-feely with people.
Because I'm just thinking about it too, further than just like, oh, like they have to be in the scene and they have to do this thing and then, okay, cut. Like, no, like when you make a movie... You kind of become a family with that cast, with everybody that works there for like a year, 2 years, depending on how long it takes for production to happen. How do you, I guess you cannot catch feelings if you're in love with somebody and you're a loyal person. Like, well, the actors, have the boundaries.
When they are interviewed on talk shows and stuff, they always say, oh, it's so orchestrated and it's very mechanical and, there's directing and whatever and stuff. So it's not romantic at all. Yeah, but no, I still would not necessarily care for my person to be all over another person, even if they are acting. Because then, and even with that, if they're an actor, how do you know when the acting stops? Like, at some point, they could be just acting with you.
Ooh.
So...
Nah, I wouldn't like that. Because even like that's like the concept of like work wife, work husband. Like if people can have that in like regular jobs, I feel like that's even to a like greater extent if you're acting and you have to act as somebody's love interest.
Yeah.
And but I guess some actors are just that good of actors because like the guy that plays Anthony Bridgerton in Bridgerton is gay in real life, and he is madly in love with his female lead in the show, and you could not tell me, even though I knew watching the show, you cannot tell me that man was not straight and in love with that lady. Like, so I feel like there is a certain level.
I guess it's a level of professionalism that they maintain, and if they're decent people and they're good actors or actresses or whatever, then they can do it. I wouldn't like it for virtue of the fact that you're all over them and then come and got to be around. Like it would be too much for me. I guess, I don't know. I don't ever have to worry about that because I'm probably never going to date an actor. So not a problem for me.
I don't think I'm going to be no actor.
Not a problem for me.
After,
but I'm going to say no to that.
Good luck to Zendaya and Tom Holland because I love them together.
I do too.
I feel like, ooh, like I know watching that one scene, he was just like, what you doing?
Well, and then a little bit on another note, as an actor, actress, you're in a movie, how much say-so do you get? Because I think the bigger the actor, the more say-so that they'll probably be able to have. And like, I would just I would ask that I not be put in those positions. And I guess sometimes though they want the roles because if the movie is a big enough movie and it can help their career, they go for it.
I feel like
most of the
because once upon a time I did want to be an actor, and once upon a time I looked at like the backstage and like the different roles or whatever that would come through. And most of them, like if a role required nudity, if a role required you to have like some sort of like intercourse with another actor, it would say it before you like applied to be considered for that role.
They'll change things though for the right person. They'll change things for the right person.
So I guess it just depends on like.
And back in the day, now actors take pride in doing their own stunts and doing those things themselves. But back in the day, big name people would have a body double. Like there were people there are people that are famous for being body doubles for other people. Now actors tend to want to do those things themselves because they want to say that they did all of the acting themselves. You can go and use a body double for me, fam.
Yeah, personally, I don't want like nothing about my body, nothing about my life in danger. I don't want to do. No, I'm not on my Tom Cruise finna jump out of plane for a movie role. That's
I don't get undressed for pay. No, ma'am. No, sir.
Well, I certainly hope not.
No, never have. Never will.
Because I feel like where is the line between being an actor that's nude in a movie that is performing in a certain type of way in the sake of artistic expression and like being in a different type
That's
of
what
movie.
I always find funny when they're like, oh, it's acting and it's art. Naked is naked to me.
I just feel like a certain
like naked
level,
is naked to me.
especially in 2024 when like a lot of television shows are just like you straight seeing you seeing a lot.
They've relaxed the standards quite a bit these days.
Especially in shows like Euphoria, you're literally seeing people booty butt naked like every episode. So where is the line between you just doing this for artistic expression and you basically you could be on one of them rated X sites on the internet, on the dark web.
People have their own thought processes about stuff like that, but for me, naked is naked. For pay, for free, whether naked is naked, and I'm just not with it. Like, no.
Yeah, it's a little nasty.
Well, not nasty, just not my cup of tea. I'm not going to judge because people have their own rationale.
But to me, it's nasty, but I'm not judging. To me, it's nasty, but I'm not judging. If you want to do something nasty, do something nasty. I don't want to do nothing nasty.
Okay, I think you might be judging, but okay.
Whatever. But, I'm still going to watch Zendaya's new movie and, support my one of my fave celebrities. Yeah. But she's come a long way from her Disney Channel days, I'll tell you that.
I love her. But she was destined for greatness.
Yeah, she was destined for greatness.
When she started, you could tell she was going to be a standout. Like, she was a scene stealer, and she was very talented. And, so we love you, Zendaya.
I used to watch her on the Disney Channel when there was probably maybe 4 other main black women on the Disney Channel at a time. But now, in 2024, I feel like youth of color have a lot more options, and the Let Me Put Y'all On today is going to be about the movie Wish that came out in November, but now it's on Disney Plus, and I recently watched it, and I'm so happy to see like a main character of color, and she got braids. This has braids, and I was so excited about that.
So the braids. Is she an American? Like what?
They're not in like this. They're in Rosa, I think is the name.
So
of
some fantasy.
Yeah, it's a fantasy land. It's not like America
because I haven't seen it yet.
It's not like how Princess Tiana is in New Orleans. It's not like that. Right. But like she got box braids with cornrows on the side. Anyway, I was very happy to see that because I feel like it's important for Black youth or youth of color to see themselves represented in media. And I also thought the message of the movie was good because while I do love me a good love story and I love the like traditional Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, all of that, this movie was not a love story. It was about just like fighting for what's right. It was more akin to kind of like a Merida from Brave type vibe where she was just kind of fighting for an end goal and she had her friends by her side, but we weren't worried about no men. Like she was not worried about finding her one true love and true love's kiss. She was just worried about saving the day, which I liked it. And I thought it was a good story for kids to see, and it was like cutesy and childlike, so it was hard for me to get like really really into it because I'm an adult obviously, but I thought it was really adorable and the message was good, and it's something that like the whole family can watch.
And I as a child of the 70s, finding anything, a black doll, a shirt with black people on, like that was it was almost non-existent. They did have black dolls, but it took a minute even for that to happen. I have to confess, as a grown adult, when I see children walking around with Tiana on a shirt or any of the black cartoon characters and stuff, my heart just leaps. And especially, I love to see an ally where it is not a black child, like a white child, a Hispanic child, any child that is not still sporting the Tiana shirt. That's like ally. Like I love to see that, and I love to see that those parents are open-minded enough that their child likes that character. Does not matter.
And I'm glad too.
I love that.
While I do love a good remake, and I love the fact that the Little Mermaid is black now in this incarnation, and
she's the only Little Mermaid that some kids know. Like she's the only one. For my
baby cousins, that is their Little Mermaid. Yeah. Where like that wasn't my Little Mermaid, which was cool because I like the original movie too. But like that is going to be their Disney princess in their head when they envision the story. But I like that they're coming up with innovative movies where it's not just a remake, where we're not making a white character black. We're just making a new character that happens to be black. Yeah. Even though I don't see nothing wrong with making a white character black that's completely fictional, like Tiana or Ariel, because they don't exist in real life. It's not a historical fact.
It's good to see, and I'm glad that the kids from this generation don't have to wonder and don't have to just accept and
to a side note is that the Princess Tiana ride at Magic Kingdom is opening soon, and I'm very excited about it because I always thought there should be like a Tiana ride.
I'm not excited. I'm actually quite upset because I do not do heights, and I'm afraid to ride it because of that drop at the end. And as much as I want to say I'm going,
Mom, you can do that one drop to see. But for our black Disney princess, you can't do the drop.
Oh, but no, take video. I will watch the video. But I'm so that I just saw I follow the Disney site, and they were showing how it was going to be. I'm so sad because it's like I'm not going to get to see that. It looks like it's going to be so good.
And the music, and then they opening a restaurant, so we're going to be able to get Tiana's beignets.
Yeah, I'm Disney. Y'all need to have an alternative route for people like me that don't like drops.
Y'all people that are afraid of drops just need to face your fears.
I'm not afraid of them. They don't.
Okay, so if you're not afraid, then you can do it for the one time to support Tiana.
I can't die for Tiana.
You're not.
I cannot die for Tiana.
Tiana's
I don't know that my heart could take that drop. That's a very steep drop.
It's not. Mom.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
I mean, compared to me getting on like Six Flags.
Well, that's because you are out of your mind and you like that kind of stuff. But my stomach drops out and I can't handle it. I'm so sad. Like I love that the ride exists, but I'm so sad that I can't ride it. Disney, I want y'all to make sure that when y'all make rides in the future, y'all make a Daredevil route. And
they already have that for stuff like Mission Space.
Right. So they should have done that for this ride. They should have where the boats for the Daredevils go down that drop. The boats for people like me take a turn and let us off, and we wait for y'all to get off. Like, they could do that. Disney, y'all heard it here first. Rides like that should have two options, just like Mission Space, where I can ride the Tiana ride, but take me over there that way, let them go that way, and I don't have to do the drop.
I don't think they should have to construct a whole new thing just because you don't like drop. Don't get on the ride then.
I'm a loyal customer. Disney has taken a lot of my money. So they owe me that. You
willingly gave them your money.
They owe me that. Anything. I'm a loyal customer, and I think I should have some say-so. So Disney, Imagineers, if you're listening, all rides, because we should all be able to experience all rides should have two option, the Daredevil option and the regular option.
Everything is not for everybody. If you don't want to get on a roller coaster, don't get on a roller coaster.
This is not a roller coaster though. This is
Splash
boat
Mountain
ride.
Has always and will forever be
it's not Splash Mountain anymore though. It's not Splash Mountain anymore.
But they're revamping it and it's still the same course. Therefore, it's still going to be the same thing. It's a thrill ride. If you don't want the thrill, then don't get on the ride.
I want the partial thrill. Imagineers, y'all can make that happen. No, I have faith in you.
You just are going to have to watch the video that I take when I happily ride the ride. Probably. I get to see Tiana and live out my childhood fantasies and being able to go through the bayou and see, what's the fly name? Oh my God.
I can't remember his name, but I love him so much.
Ray. And Evangeline.
I love him so much.
And he better be like, love you, Evangeline. If I don't see that at the end of the ride, I want my money back.
I love Ray so much. So
I love his Cajun accent. Yeah, it's so cute.
I'm a sucker for an accent.
But I feel like one part. I feel like the Voodoo Man part gonna be a little scurry. Because in the movie, when I was a kid, I was like, "This is a little dark." Like
you'll be fine.
And experiencing demons and stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
You'll be fine. It's gonna be a cute ride though.
Yeah, I just hope it starts like from beginning to end, and like you see the
tells
whole
the whole
thing.
story,
like,
kind of like they did the Little Mermaids. They did a Little Mermaid ride without a drop. Y'all could have done that. But,
the Little Mermaid ride is a completely different thing.
But they did the ride without a drop.
You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be perfectly fine. Either get over it or look at the YouTube video.
I'm gonna have to pray. I'm gonna have to pray about it. I'm gonna pray about it because I want to see it. It looks like it's gonna be so cute.
You're gonna pray about getting on a Disney ride
for the strength to take that drop, girl. You pray about everything. At least I do.
What are you trying? That seemed very shady.
I don't know who raised you, but
that seemed very like you might not be praying, but
you might be a heathen. But I pray about everything. I don't know who raised you.
Anyway, so I feel like there's this like thing, this unsaid, or it is said sometimes, but like this unsaid thing of like there's certain places that you go. Mm-hmm. And there's supposed to be a price, but the price is never the price that it's supposed to be.
The math don't math.
The math never maths. And I feel like we need to give our viewers and listeners a list of like, you go here and they say it's going to be $2.02, but it always ends up being $25. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, there are places that are notorious for that. Car dealerships, like that whole sleazy car salesman stereotype. It's not always true because I've dealt with some decent salespeople. Like there was a older gentleman that worked at Stadium Toyota over there. Very nice man.
He was really nice.
He was always sweet. He was always honest with me. I drove that poor man crazy, but he was always sweet. He was always honest with me. And I'm loyal to Toyota. You know that Toyota is my vehicle because it's a well-made vehicle. Shout out to Toyota. I have had about 6 of them. You trying to be like
Risa Tisa and get them to give you a free car?
I had a Celica and a Corolla and then another Corolla and then I can't remember if my van was a Toyota or not, but then I got another Corolla. Bought you a Corolla. Now I'm driving a Camry. At one point in time, somebody we know had a Tacoma. So like I'm loyal to Toyota, but what I don't like is the salespeople. Now I'm not gonna say which dealership because I don't want to get sued or anything, but I'm loyal to Toyota, and I live in Lakeland. I'm not gonna say which dealership that it is. I'm not gonna say which dealership it is. But I'm loyal to Toyota.
Not you doxing us on the internet.
And I live in Lakeland. Because every time you go there is an issue, especially in the service department. Because if you ask, how much is this service going to cost? How difficult is it to tell me how much the service is going to cost? And then I get there and the price is always different because of shop fees. Here's the thing, Toyota people. Y'all know that you have shop fees when you do the service. There's no such thing as not having them. And y'all know about what the shop fees are going to be because
you knew the exact percentage.
Because you know what they're going to be. So stop playing games and stop quoting people prices. And then at the end, it's more than what you told me because of shop fees. Why didn't you tell me about the shop fees from the beginning? I feel like they
just be trying to take advantage when they see like a woman walk in.
And then, because Mr. Man, I'm not going to talk about which location, but Mr. Man, I live in Lakeland.
She going on a rant, y'all.
So, and then Mr. Man is going to tell me, well, right there on your coupon, because you know I love the coupon, I'm always have one. Right there on your coupon, it says that shop supplies are extra. The fact that you put that on the coupon means that you knew you were going to charge me shop supplies. So why didn't you tell me that?
They get a little snippety because you was like going back and forth with him.
Because he tried to tell me it was because I'm allowing you to.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm saying when he was like, oh, well, you have to understand that. And like, he was just like, oh, well, would you like for me to do that? And like, he was just getting real snippety.
He tried it, didn't he?
He was getting real sassy.
He tried it. He was a very sassy man, but he should have known I'm the sassy man slayer. Because no, ma'am, no, sir. When he got snippy with me, I got snippy back with him because if you know there's shop supplies involved especially when I specify, give me the total price so that I know. But I don't want to spend too much time on a dealership that shall remain nameless. I'm loyal to Toyota and I live in Lakeland. I'm not going to say which location I'm talking about. But there's other locations, other services and businesses that do similar prices, but it's not this.
I feel like I always have issues at the nail salon. Not that I like the nail salon that I go to, but it's just like every little thing they taxing you. Like, If you get extra long, upcharge. If you want to cut your nails down when you get a fill-in, upcharge. If you want to add a French tip, these
now
upcharge.
Some of it they have to do a little bit of extra work when they're doing those intricate designs and stuff.
I understand why there was an upcharge.
They earn their money,
but why when you cut your nails down is there? Why am I paying you $5 because I want you to
cut the nail? Like you got to cut the nail to do whatever you're doing. Or anyway.
Like every little pedicure thing, like you add an extra lotion, then all of a sudden it's $10 more, or you want gel versus y'all know regular polish ain't lasting. Who in 2024 is getting regular polish?
It is not, and I do understand the more for gel versus regular polish.
I don't get it because the only difference is you sit under the light for like 30 seconds.
I'm gonna assume, as someone that has been a business owner myself, that maybe the gel polish costs them more.
Not that much more.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to defend y'all nail because I like the look. I like the nail people.
I like the nail shop that we go to. I like them. They quick, they easy, they're convenient, they're nearby.
You can walk in. You don't have to wait. It's always neat and clean. And let me say, this is so minor and so insignificant, but to me, I notice details. They are even on game with their seasonal decorations. Honey, you walk in there Valentine's Day, there's heart decor. Yeah. I went in there the other day, right before Easter. They had Easter decor. Mm-hmm. They keep it changed out. They keep it fresh. It's always neat, clean. And you know I'm dermophobic, and I was hesitant to do the whole nail and pedicure thing. But I have great comfort going there because everything looks above board and nice.
Yeah,
I love them.
They're a good nail salon. Yeah. I don't want to pay you $5 to cut my nails.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't understand that.
And then on top of everything, they like add all the, then there's like a service fee if you use a card. Then you like got to tip people. It's just like too much. Like
it's a lot.
You go in thinking like, oh, this is about a $60 set. Wait, no, that's
never. You know, you never gonna.
You go in thinking it's a $70 set, and then I leave spending $100+. Like
I do basic stuff, and my stuff always ends up being about $100. I go in thinking it's gonna be $100. Like I just mentally it's gonna be $100 because
it's about $100.
Because I don't even do all of that stuff. But the thing
is because they're a good salon, at least the salon we go to, it lasts a long time. So I only go like once a month, once every 3 weeks.
And they're, like I said, you don't have to wait. You don't have to have an appointment. You walk in, they get you right in. The people that do the pedicures, I don't have a man currently, but if I get a man, I'm going to take him to the man that works at the salon and let him show him.
You're going to take your man to a man?
To show him how to give a good foot massage. Because, baby, when I tell you, if that man was single and into black women, I might have to date him because that man does his job when he does it. There's one there that I love him so much. I love him so much in a non-sexual way because he does a good job with them pedicures, y'all.
Now that she made it weird, let's move on from the nail salons. Hair salons also.
That's another place, honey.
Especially for me, because I have thick, long hair. Like, it don't look long right now because it's curly, but I have thick, long hair.
That's the first upcharge. They have the prices, but you're always going to pay more. They always
be like, baby, it's going to be a little bit.
They're right on
It's going to be a little bit extra because your hair is thick and long. And I'm just like,
those people are not wrong to charge you more. You got 5 heads of hair.
It's not wrong, but it's just like I'm getting punished for having pretty hair.
No, you're going to pay those people for their extra time they have to do. Like,
don't you want me on your page and to show people that you can
they want to be compensated for those hours they have to spend on your hair because that is 5 heads of hair, y'all. 5.
But then also it's like I feel like I miss the days when beauticians or stylists or hairstylists, whatever you want to call them, I miss the days where like everything was just automatically included because now like if you want a deep condition,
those
it's extra.
Are gone.
When you want a trim,
gone.
it's extra. But now a trim is one thing, but a haircut's something different. So if you get a haircut, that's also extra.
Yeah.
And then if you want color, that's gonna be extra. If you want
itemize everything,
like because
they itemize.
Now
everything.
Are we going to salons and I'm just expecting you to like wash my hair, blow it out, flat iron it, and now I'm just walking out no style? Like,
if you don't want to pay for the extras, yes, you are walking out. And just then
the braiders be so out of pocket and out of hand. Because why? If I have
let me defend braiders. For years, braiders were undercharged. They were undercharged because when you go in for a wash and a blowout or whatever stuff, yes, that's time consuming, but it's pretty fast. Braiders spend hours, like sometimes half days, entire days on people's hair. So they finally started to get smart and charge people for their time. But then some of them are getting ridiculous because these people that are charging $500 and $1,000, there's not a braid that you can put in my hair worth that much.
Worth $500.
No, ma'am. I'm willing to pay somebody for their time.
I feel like $200 max.
That's a little bit ridiculous. Yeah, because
I feel like to me. I'm not saying I can do it as good as the braiders because I can't, and I cannot part the back of my own hair, which is the reason I go to the braiders. But to me, I feel like braids is one of those styles that you can do at home. Like, you could do it yourself if you had the time. And
Not
patience.
everybody can.
Not everyone, but if you know how to do your hair, like, I've done my own braids before. Like, I've asked you to help with parting, but I've done my own braids before.
But some people can't. Like, I couldn't do my own braids. I couldn't do it. I'm amazed that you can do it. Like, I don't know how you learned that because I didn't teach it to you.
Because I wanted it and I didn't want to pay $500.
That's the thing. That's one thing I've learned about my. If you want something, you will make it happen.
Most of the time, I'm doing my own blowouts because I'm not trying to pay $200, and I'm not trying to pay $200 for you to burn my hair, mess it up. Like the other day, I literally got so frustrated. I cut the front of my own hair. And what should I have done that at 2:00 in the morning? Probably not. But did it turn out fine? It did, and I didn't have to pay $200.
So you can take those kind of gambles because you know it's going to grow back.
Yeah, it was at the point that it was so long. I was just like, I can't hurt it. But
there's car dealerships, nail salons, hair salons. There's always those added fees.
Restaurants that have the automatic tip.
Some of them. Yeah, those restaurants where if there's more than 6 of y'all or however many of y'all, they automatically.
18, like,
now, I can understand automatically adding a tip for large parties, but the percentage.
No, because Ybor.
The good Lord only asked for 10%.
I'm not going to say what restaurant it was because it's a very popular black restaurant in Ybor, but by me saying that, you already kind of know what I'm talking about. Why I went there with my boyfriend on Valentine's Day and there was an 18% gratuity automatic.
And see, when they do that automatic, that's just what it is, automatic. Now here's the question. Do you tip on top of that? Like if there's an automatic gratuity, some people still feel like you got to do another tip. It's like, no, because that's kind of like the car dealership. Say what your price is. Say what your price is.
Like the gratuity was there and they really didn't do anything. They handed us the food and they walked away.
Well...
So it's just like, no, we're not going to give you a tip on top of the tip that was already given.
Yeah, it's a way for them to make a little extra money.
I'm saying we as if I paid for it.
But like I'm probably not going to come to your restaurant a lot unless your food is just like the bomb. Like I'm not going to come to your restaurant a lot if every little thing is an upcharge. Everything is an upcharge.
Or like, I don't like when restaurants be having basic stuff like water and it's like $5. Or like when you go to like the stadiums, like Raymond James Stadium. Why did I pay $7 for icy when I went to see Beyonce?
Oh, and at the stadiums, honey, they don't even let you keep the top. They take the top off
they don't let
of
you keep
everything.
Nothing.
Like, yeah. So.
They won't let you bring anything in. Like places like Disney or like other theme parks, they aren't going to let you bring food in. But then the food.
Well, Disney does. Now, a lot of people don't know that Disney will allow you to bring in your own snacks, and that is a cost saving, y'all. But yeah, you can bring in your own stuff. There's certain things you can't. You cannot bring a cooler.
Or like
in.
Animal Kingdom, you can't bring like
Animal
straws
Kingdom. They don't want you to have straws because it could harm the animals or whatever. So some places you can, but like movie theaters and places like that, you can't bring your own snacks.
Yeah.
That's why, we gonna. Yeah. Anyway,
you remember? No. But we're not finna get in trouble. This was like 10 years ago, literally. One time, I forget what movie we were going to see, but it was me, you, my cousin Sayrana, and Grandma. And Grandma had like 5 hamburgers in her bag. And we walked in the theater and I was like, what smells so good in here? And then she started passing them down like it was like drugs or something. Like passing them down like, y'all want a hamburger? Y'all want a hamburger?
Look, you do what you have to do. The movie is expensive, especially when you're taking a bunch of people. You do what you have to do.
You know, the young people, we like to go to
I am not condoning breaking the law.
That's not breaking the law. But the young people will go to the Dollar Tree or somewhere first, get candies or snacks. I'm not.
Well, you're not supposed to bring stuff into the theater, but as someone that is always going to have some type of snack or something, because I think I started that as a mom and I just never got rid of it. Like I'm always going to have something for an emergency. So how you going to tell me what can be in my purse?
Look, get you a big blanket.
Like, how you going to tell me what can be in my purse?
Get you a big blanket and just put the food under your arm.
Do not listen to her, y'all. Do not follow her bad example.
It's not wrong if you don't get caught, is all I'm saying.
Oh my Lord. I hope that's limited to movies, theater snacks.
You know what? Anything that brings capitalism down.
I do not endorse this. I am Tangela Walker Craft and I do not approve this message.
All I'm saying is do what you got to do in this economy. The economy is not for us
anyway. But the movie theaters are getting better. They have the little combo packs and
have
thing for the kids or whatever and stuff. So I was glad to see that. Whoever came up with that concept, very smart. We appreciate it. Those of us that are just middle class people trying to make it.
But speaking of movies, our Gemini Gym for today is also movie related.
Yeah. So some people don't know, but there is a program that they have at Disney that is called Disney Movie Insiders. So like if you go to a lot of the Disney movies, if you buy a lot of the Disney DVDs.
Are people still buying DVDs?
I think some people are. They have kids. People that have kids, or if they have a favorite movie, whatever the case may be. If you sign up for the Disney Movie Insiders, number one, sometimes they will have you do surveys and ask your opinions about things. But one of the best benefits of it is that from time to time, you can earn rewards points. You can earn rewards points every time you go to a Disney movie. If you enter your movie tickets, you get points. Different things that you do, I think in the park, you get points. If you buy, if you're still into buying DVDs, you get points for that. But you can accumulate the points and then you can turn them in and get gift cards. Sometimes you can get just like a gift card that you can use in the Disney parks. You can use it on the Disney websites and stuff where you order toys and clothes and things for your kids. You can also, like I said, in the park, use them for your snacks and stuff. So like I accumulate my rewards point every time we go to a movie. I enter the point. I make everybody give me their tickets. Like I'm the ticket collector. I put in all the points, and you can earn Disney movie rewards and use those points for actual merchandise and goodies in the park and stuff. So check that out. They have a Facebook page. They have an Instagram page. And if you follow it, they'll send you notifications. Sometimes they'll have surprise points. They'll ask you to do like a little questionnaire quiz or whatever. So you can earn points different ways, but check that out.
Well, speaking on Disney, keeping it on the Disney train, I realized growing up, I went to Disney a lot just because I grew up in a family where we all love Disney.
Because I was a Disney fan.
You were a Disney fan. But a lot of people that I grew up with and a lot of people that I met in adulthood had never been to Disney and were from Florida. And I was just like, y'all gotta go to Disney. But a lot of people don't go because they not think. It is very expensive to go. It is. But a lot of people also don't realize that Disney has annual passes where before, when I was a kid, you would have to just pay for it.
Had to pay
and it would be for the whole year, and it would be very expensive. A couple $100s, but now
not a couple, multiple.
Well, when I was a kid, it was
it started out at $3, but now it's now it's getting up there.
They're in there $1,000.
Yeah,
but
it's getting up there.
For people that like to travel or like to go out a lot, instead of using money for that, a lot of people decide to get annual passes because now they have monthly payment plans at most of the theme parks, including Disney, where you can pay monthly, and instead of say you go to the movie 3 times a month and you go out to dinner whole family 3 times a month. Instead of doing that, you can go to Disney World for the whole year and have a bunch of family.
Yeah, now there is usually there's a upfront payment of a certain amount and then you pay monthly, and then in some cases it is just a monthly installment.
And there's no interest on the payments.
There's no
either.
interest
so
on
there's
the payments.
No reason why you
it's kind of like renting a theme park pass because you can go year round, and if you get the top pass, then you can go to all 4 parks. You can park hop. You can go to all 4 parks every day. Think about it as if you divide it, it's expensive, but if you divide it up over the course of a year, the daily cost for it is not that much. It's a lot less expensive, and you get year round. You can do staycations. I think of it as staycations when I've had a rough week. I've had a whole lot going on, and I just need to kind of just zone out and just go to the happiest place on earth. The pass pays for itself.
And that way, renting is cheaper than buying, I guess.
Yeah.
But Ask a Gemini, which I skipped over to Gemini Gym. I was going to ask you, is it cheaper to rent an apartment or rent a house or rent whatever versus buy a home? Because I've seen a lot of discourse on TikTok of how people are debating whether it's cheaper to rent or to buy. And I always was taught growing up that it's cheaper to buy in the long run.
Yeah.
So what is your wise, sage thoughts for the youth that are in this stage of life where they're having to decide whether they want to rent or buy?
So a lot of people choose to rent, not so much because they prefer renting or because it's cheaper, but because they can't come up with down payment. So I'm going to just put that out there. The down payment for home ownership, the most expensive part of it for a lot of people is the down payment. Because if you can come up with a down payment, it is definitely cheaper to buy a home than to rent an apartment, because there's 2 reasons why I say home ownership is cheaper than renting. For usually once you do that initial down payment, your mortgage payment is going to be cheaper than rent. Sometimes it could be about the same or a little bit more. But in the long run, you're making payments towards something that you're eventually going to own. And if you do it right and you're consistent, the mortgage payment eventually will end. Rent never ends. If you start renting, unless you're buying a townhouse, like, and that's closer to home ownership than renting, rent never goes away. Like, you're going to owe at the end of the month or the beginning of the month or whenever your rent payment is due forever and ever and ever into eternity. Mortgage payment will go away. Also, there's a lot of reasons why home ownership is cheaper. Houses, for the most part, based on my experience, are better insulated. So your light bill will a lot of times be cheaper for a house than it would be for an apartment. I have had friends that had apartments that tell me they pay hundreds of dollars a month for their light bill. My house, which is a reasonably decent sized house, my light bill most of the time is under $100. Even during, extremely hot weather and extremely cold weather, it'll tip up there. I have not ever, but maybe once since I've been living in my home, had a light bill that was over $200, and that was during an extremely hot summer where the air conditioner ran a lot, or either an extremely cold winter where the heater ran. But your light bill is going to be less, so you kind of recoup some of your investment on that end. There's a lot of things that you can do in your home that you can't do in an apartment. So even though it may seem like home ownership is more expensive, in the long run, if you're thinking long term, it is cheaper to buy a home if you can come up with your down payment than it is to eternally give away that rent money.
And then too,
home is an investment too.
And isn't it easier to get out of having a house if you want to sell your house, you can sell your house and at least get your money back or make a profit.
Yeah.
Versus breaking your lease. When
you get charged if you have to break the lease. And think you have to kind of think of home ownership as an investment, because at any given time, if you live out, you get to be older or whatever stuff, and you decide that you don't need as much house or whatever, you can sell it. And housing prices go up. Like, I've never seen the housing prices drop. My house has, I know, probably quadrupled in value since I bought it. So like, when in terms of investment, a home is a better option.
I will say though, in terms of, because I'm more like aware of these things, because I'm like at the age where I'm having to like look at something like this, and it's just popping up on my feed because of the stuff that I'm liking. But the only issue right now for buying homes and home ownership is interest rates are like 6.9%.
You got to buy when the interest rate is
so
good.
That's the only reason I think a lot of people are renting now, is because they're trying to wait out the interest rate, so that way they aren't paying a whole bunch of extra money that's just going up to the air.
And be careful when you buy a home that you do not get into. I don't recommend anyway that you get into a balloon mortgage situation. Some people don't understand that a balloon mortgage, your mortgage payments are not consistent. They can literally, that's what it means, they can balloon. And I don't even know how that works, but I do know that there's such a thing as a balloon mortgage where your mortgage adjusts to the interest rate situation and all kinds of other things. You want a fixed mortgage. That's my recommendation. Talk to a realtor. They can educate you on the differences in it. But yeah, there are some things. I will also say convenience-wise, some people choose to rent because they don't want to have to deal with the maintenance and the upkeep of the property, and that's not theirs to do.
Yeah, something goes wrong.
Something goes wrong, and I get that, but having lived in my house for almost 30 years now, like I think it's getting pretty close to 30, actually, maybe a little bit longer than 30 years.
It's been longer than 30 years.
It's been longer than 30 years. The things that I've had to repair, the things that I've had to replace, and of course, if you're somebody that you want to keep things modern and fresh, have not been that terrible. I feel like, if I had it to do all over again, I would buy a home again rather than rent. But you have to do what works for you.
It depends too whether you're like single or dating or married. Like, because if you're like, for me, I didn't want to go out and like buy a house to just have to sell the house in a couple of years. Like it wouldn't have made sense.
If you're I think home ownership works best for DINKs. For those of you that don't know that acronym, that's a double M, income, no kids, double income, no kids. When you're a DINK. When you're a yuppie is the phrase they used to use back in the 80s, young urban professional. And then for you, you're a buppy, black urban professional. maybe renting is the best way to go for a while until you decide where home is going to be, where you want to be.
And two, you don't want to buy a house.
You don't want to buy a house when you know that you are not stationary. You're going to be moving around a lot. But once you decide where you want to settle, once you become a dink, you got, a significant other to share the cost of whatever and stuff. Home ownership is, they used to say, the quickest way to get to wealth for a middle class person, because once you buy that house, you pay it off. The money that you normally would be paying towards a mortgage, you can bank that and have it for other things. Thank you, Jesus. But you have to do what works for you. But I would say look into it. Sometimes it is not as difficult as people think if you just kind of bite the bullet.
Yes, it's like one lady I saw, I forget her act, but I follow her on TikTok, and she has a nice house and it's just her. And she was saying how when she bought her house, she realized that she could tell them how much she wanted to put down, and she didn't have to put down more than she could afford at the time. Yeah. And she got a fixed interest rate that was 3% or something. That
interest rate makes a difference. Somebody told me for every $1,000, and this could be wrong, so don't quote me on this. For every $1,000, and this was back in the 90s, every $1,000 you put down, it takes about $5 off your mortgage payment, but for every point that interest rates drops, it was something like $50. So putting more money on the down payment sometimes is not as important as how low the interest rate is. So I'm not a real estate professional. I have a friend that is. I'm going to try to have her on the show, and she can maybe explain that kind of thing to you. But you have to look into it, weigh the options. I would say if you're, not settled, apartments are great, but if you know where you are in life, you know where you want to live and stuff, buying a home can be an investment, and it can also, if you stick it out, it could add to your later wealth.
All right. Well, you definitely thoroughly answered that question. So now y'all know whether you want to rent or buy. But that's all we have, folks, as Looney Tunes ends. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe. Period.